What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Chef Swaggins, and in today's video we actually have a pretty serious topic today, and we're going to be discussing what is leading to the purging of Call of Duty Mobile and what I think is going to happen moving forward for the game. And we're going to go ahead and kick that off with the Jokesta situation. So if y'all don't know who Jokesta is an S&D player. He's a pretty big YouTuber. He's been playing since Season 1. He actually contested Ferg for the #1 leaderboard spot all the way back in Season 1. And Jokesta is like one of the chillest guys I have ever seen, ever met. He's one of the coolest dudes in all of the Call of Duty Mobile community. And recently, he was dropped from the partnership program with Call of Duty Mobile. And he actually went and made a video about it, basically saying a lot of the reasons why he got dropped. And the #1 reason was they told him he wasn't streaming enough or uploading enough. But the thing with that is, Jokesta actually went through and explained why. And he's like, he's got a life to live, of course, but he said he had no motivation to play the game. The game was terrible, it was spammy, he was dying in stupid ways he shouldn't. And I absolutely agree with Jokesta. I think the game is horrible, and the reason he quit was basically because the devs are neglecting ranked. I completely think that's all the developers' fault. I don't blame Jokesta one bit for leaving, for not playing the game, because for one, I stand with Jokesta. I 100% agree with him. I think what he did was right, not playing the game if he doesn't want to, The game's terrible. It's horrible. Completely awful. And I'll say that 100,000 times. I'll tell the devs to their face they are doing a terrible job. The devs are doing a horrible job, in fact. I don't think the game has ever been worse than what it is now, and I don't think there's enough people speaking up about it, but I think what they did to Jokesta was absolutely terrible. That's your fault, developers. Fix your shit. And it's that simple. It really is. Jokesta's never had a single problem in the past with these guys. I mean, Jokesta, literally, even in his own video, he wasn't mad about it. But you could tell he had a problem. He knows the game isn't fun. He doesn't enjoy the game. He doesn't feel motivated to play. And that's where we're going to jump in. And, that's where Call of Duty Mobile's downfall begins. When you get rid of people like Jokesta, people who are huge, people who have a huge influence over the game, people who have been making content for so long, notice how he left your game, basically, because of your terrible decisions regarding ranked. And I'm going to keep this short and sweet, because I can rant about how bad ranked is for a good 30 minutes at least. But I'm going to keep it to the key points we're having. #1, broken pay-to-win metas. And my #1 theory here is Activision being greedy as always and sucking dick for change, which is something they've known to been doing in the past. I think they've, personally, in my opinion, they've ruined multiple Call of Duty titles with their greed. And I think plenty of people would agree with me. And it started back at the MG42. Before it wasn't as terrible. There was manageable metas, but there were definitely, ones that were more broken than others, like the MX9, for example. And it starts with the MG42. Busted gun, busted for 6+ seasons, or not 6+ seasons, sorry, 6+ months, and of course it has a mythic. It's stupid, it's easy, it caters to those shittier players in the community. We finally nerf it. It's still kind of broken, honestly, but we moved from that, and then we released the mythic BP50, which is the most broken gun in all of Call of Duty Mobile history. Destroyed everything in every range, and surprise, surprise, it was skill-less, 60-round mag, low recoil, fast movement speed, and incredible damage range. And it was a mythic. And, a lot of the guns in between that didn't have mythics, for example, like the ISO, could get completely overshadowed. Nobody even uses it. Nobody even talks about it. And we move to our next meta, BP50 finally gets nerfed. Well, here comes the USS-9. Once again, we have another mythic. What is it? A SMG that has a farther and more consistent 3-tap than all of the 3-tap assault rifles, and has a 2-tap headshot with a faster fire rate, lower recoil, and the same size, if not a bigger mag. So that's my first issue. These broken metas that are pay to win and obviously Activision greed needs to get the fuck out of here. That is not okay. And it's ruining the game. It's been ruining the game. And I think that's the #1 issue we're facing right now. #2, I think, is a combination of SBMM and buffing things that make terrible players compete with good players. So, for example, nobody asked for a martyrdom buff. Not one person in the community wanted it. And yet you buff it to where it insta-kills you if you kill somebody at close range. What the fuck were you thinking? Same thing with persistence. It got buffed. Not one person in the community wanted it, and you buffed it. Just so those crappier players that don't belong in Legendary in the first place, they probably lose still even with that stuff, get bot lobbies, and then get into Legendary playing with that shit. They don't belong in Legendary, and they never will. But you buff those things catering to the shittier players, so they play your game and get mythics. That is just baffling to me. how do you not cater, though, to your long-term audience? Like, the people who have been playing for so long, the people that enjoyed the game when it was good, they're going to be the ones to get mythics. They're more invested in the game. They've been playing this long. The newer players, they're not going to buy as many mythics because it's not nearly as invested. And then that's where the SBMM comes in. You take those terrible players that shouldn't have made it into Legendary in the first place, and you take somebody who's really good. For example, let's go with Space. Space is a great player. Space can drop 50 kills a game, probably easy. Space drops his 50 kills, maybe even a nuke, right? But little Timmy, who's 3-21 with 2 seconds of hardpoint time, either weighs him down until he loses, or if Space wins, little Timmy gets points for basically being fucking useless. So that's where SBMN just ruins everything, combined with the skill-less metas and stuff like that. It's terrible. It's ruining the game. And lastly, it's not nearly as bad, but it absolutely needs to be talked about and absolutely needs to be fixed. Hackers. People are facing hackers on stream and getting nuked 5 times in a stream plus. What the fuck are we... You can release the new Mythic Ram 7 soon, but you can't release an anti-cheat to negate the hackers that are nuking everybody. I got on this morning. I played one game. I haven't really played much in the last few weeks because the game's terrible, by the way. But I played one game this morning and got nuked by a hacker the first game and then got off. That's the state we are in rank right now. It is fucking crazy. Absolutely horrible. And like I said, I'll say it a million times, the developers are doing a terrible job, and I can keep telling them that, and whether or not they'll actually fucking change, I doubt it. But I'll be the first one to speak up against it if nobody else does, and I'll gladly do it. But like I said, this is all opinion. They can't sue me for slander, And if you agree with me, let me know. If you don't agree with me, also let me know. I want to hear what y'all have to think, because I know y'all's feedback is just important as mine. Because I think if they really listen to the community, they really cared about their community, they'd listen to what we have to say. And if not, that's how their game dies. That's 100% how their game dies. And that's what I think. And if they don't fix it in a few seasons moving forward, if they don't make a new ranked system or anything, the game's dead. That's where the downfall is. Yeah, that's really all I got for y'all. So y'all have a good rest of y'all's day, and Swaggin's out.